It is September 14th, Saturday morning. I'm tired as fuck. Austin's tired as fuck, but we're here bringing you another episode of the Floor Chapstick Podcast. How you doing today, Austin?
I want to fucking kill myself.
Yeah, well, that's Monday through any day ending in Y with me.
Yeah.
So welcome to the club, bud.
Hi.
We got a new setup here for those of you who are watching us for the first time. We talked about it last week, but we had a little bit of
working out.
We had a little bit of issues. But this week, if everything goes right, you'll be watching this on YouTube. You'll still be able to listen to it on SoundCloud. I'm working on getting the permissions from Apple and Spotify.
Look at that. We're moving up in the world.
It's a little difficult with Apple and Spotify because we talk about a few
risque topics.
I would put risque is putting it lightly. They said Spotify emailed me and they said your vulgarity is something that we do not want to promote.
What I don't understand.
I was like, we're not that vulgar.
Yeah, I feel like we're pretty clean compared to some of the podcasts that I've heard, I don't know. I think what we need to do is, I don't know. It's kind of hard to go about putting stuff on Spotify when we don't have any leeway,
Yeah.
When we're just starting out, we don't have any sort of ground onto where we can do anything. That's not going to work.
No, how do I do
No,
it?
you have to put the trackpad and put it on the little scroll bar on the bottom. There you go. There you go. Look at that.
There we go.
It's not going to follow.
Oh, wow.
I don't have that. I don't have it set to do that.
Whatever. It works.
Whatever. We're professionals here.
Yeah, right?
All right. So, first topic is week 1 of the NFL season.
Yes.
We're not going to talk. We're not going to be on football as much as we were last week. Last week was a very special episode just because we were excited for the season. But we do want to touch on the first week's matchups. We did get a couple picks right. I know for sure. We both said Oakland was going to win. We both said that.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Dude, they played
so good. Yeah, they looked pretty good. I
But-
mean, it was against Denver, but
Denver's defense looked like ass.
yeah, it didn't look great. But the thing is that I'm not going to panic too yet if I'm a Broncos fan because Vic Fangio is good defensively. He probably just needs to learn his players a little bit more.
I mean, he's been in the league for 20-something years, 27
Something like that,
years.
yeah.
And this is his first head coaching gig.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing with Chuck Pagano when he became coach of the Colts. I mean, that's what scares me, though, is they're both great defensive minds, both had great years under other coaches, but as soon as they turn into a head coach, they don't work.
I disagree with Pagano.
Pagano
was a great coach.
He is mediocre.
No.
He won a Super Bowl, or I think did he win? No, he didn't win a
Not
Super
with
Bowl.
the Colts,
No.
no.
So that's even worse.
That was Dungy.
Yeah, Dungy. My bad.
Pagano.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
talking about that last
Yeah.
week. Let's not get back on that. We're done with that.
Hey. This actually surprised me. Sunday was Gruden's 100th career win.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
thought
he
he
is
had
196 right now.
I thought he had over 100 career wins.
Nope.
So
Well, I told you his record last week. It was
Yeah.
99-96.
I mean, hey man,
God.
a win's a win, and he's over.
Oh,
that's
for
over.
sure.
That's over 500.
Yeah, I mean, it's what would that be now? 563, 564, something like that. I could be
think
completely
564, something like that.
wrong. So yeah, just to clarify things, we are going to have our picks for this week, but we're going to just run through them. We're not going to be as thorough with our predictions and everything like that as we were last week. We're not going to talk about matchups as much. We're just going to say who we thought was going to win, who we think is going to lose, and we're going to say the scores.
And again, we don't do Thursday nights because Thursday night games are kind of pointless.
Yeah, and I hate Thursday night games. I hate Monday night games. I feel like it should always be on the weekend. But hey.
Pat McAfee was in the booth for the North Carolina Wake Forest game.
What a game.
Did you hear about? All right, real quick, college football. I want to touch on this. So the Washington State quarterback going into last night's game, he had 800 or something yards, right? Or no, he had 600 yards or something like that going into the game last night. Last night he threw for here, I'll tell you exactly. So game 1 against New Mexico State, he threw for 420 yards. Last week, threw for
Nice.
464. Yesterday, threw 36 for 48 for 440 yards with 3 touchdowns.
That's solid. That's a good start to the year, huh?
Dude, he's got 1,324 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions this season.
You say he plays for Washington, right?
Washington State, and he took in his career. He threw before this season. He threw a total of 5 passes.
Wow, that's what a way to have your coming out party.
He backed up Gardner Minshew last year, who's now the starting quarterback for the Jags, which I think he's gonna surprise everyone and be the best rookie quarterback in the class this year. Maybe. I think Kyler Murray's gonna fall off midseason.
I don't know. The thing is that he looked really strong, but he wasn't doing it in ways that were flashy. He was doing it in ways that were smart, and you can't really lose intelligence during the season.
Yeah, but you can lose games or at least tie.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying, like him having that decision making and him being able to, break down a defense. Of course, it was Detroit's defense, not a good defense, but
yeah,
it shows that he's good under pressure and he's able to do what he needs to do. So. We'll see how that goes.
First game, Arizona, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore. Two young quarterbacks, but I got to give it to Lamar on this one.
Yeah, the thing is that the Ravens' offense is coming in hot. I can't say no otherwise.
It's really hard not to go in depth on these.
Yeah, I know. What do you think the score is going to be?
28-14 Ravens.
I got 31-14 Ravens.
Okay.
I got one extra field goal in there. So Chargers, Lions.
Oh, Chargers.
I got Chargers, too. I think that's going to be... I don't think it's going to be as much of a slaughter as a lot of people probably would. I'm going to say 24-10.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same.
Okay. Colts, Titans. I'm going to go with Colts if Marlon Mack can keep playing like that. God damn.
I'm going to go based on how how Tennessee played last year, and I'm not too, I like Jacoby Brissett, but I haven't, hasn't impressed me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Tennessee, man. I'm going to go Tennessee 35-28.
The thing is I don't trust that Marlon Mack's going to do as well, so I'm going to agree with the Titans, even though I want Marlon Mack to do as good as he can because he's on my fantasy squad. But I'm going to go Titans. I'm going to say 24-21.
Okay.
Bengals and Niners.
I'm gonna pull the upset on this one and take San Francisco.
I was going to go. Is that really an upset?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well then I'm going with the upset as well.
Andy Dalton plays like shit.
Yeah.
42-14.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna go low scoring, even though every time I went low scoring last week, it blew up in my face. But I feel like that this matchup is gonna kind of fall off. I'm gonna say 17-14. Come down to a field goal at the end.
Okay.
By Robbie Gould, my boy.
One of the best kickers ever.
I fucking love him. Jacksonville versus the Texans.
Houston.
I have Texans. It's hard to say now. I mean, I wanted to say the Jaguars' defense was going to hold up, but I also said that last week, and didn't really hold up as well.
I'm going to say 28-7 in favor of Houston.
I'm going to say 24-7. So
Jacksonville?
Texans.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah, no. I said I wanted to say Jacksonville's defense is going to hold up, but I don't think it will. Vikings, Packers. I got Vikings.
Yeah, me too.
Thing is Aaron Rodgers looked just as much like shit as Trubisky did, except for the one drive where they got the touchdown. If it were any other quarterback, the Bears would have won that game for sure. And Rodgers was able to just pull it out of his ass. But I think he's really, really going to run out of gas early this year. And plus, the Packers start off slow every single season.
Yeah, it's going to be...
They always start slow.
28-14 Minnesota.
I am going to say 28-21 Minnesota.
Okay, yeah, that was my initial thought. But I think Kirk Cousins is going to pull some magic Kirk shit in the fourth quarter.
Thing is, I was thinking that it was going to be the opposite. They're going to be down 28-14, the Packers, and Rodgers is going to drive down the field, throw for a touchdown, and then they're going to have a failed onside kick. That's what I'm going. Cowboys and Skins.
Cowboys.
God, what's his face last week was killing it. The receiver, I can't remember his name. He's either a rookie or a couple years in.
Gallup.
Yeah, Gallup.
7 receptions for 158 yards last week.
He was insane last week. I remember just watching him. I was like, just throw it to him. He will catch it. Of course, I wanted him to throw to Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Michael Gallup. I think he's a rookie.
I thought he was second year.
No, he's a rookie.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Well,
From
I was
Colorado
wrong
State.
again. So next matchup, Seahawks-Steelers.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
Steelers look like shit. I mean, I understand it's week 1 and you have preseason, all that shit. You can make as many excuses in the world as you want. The Steelers just looked like shit.
I'm going to say Pittsburgh gets blanked in this one, 21-zip.
I was tempted to say that too, but I don't think they're going to have that bad of a week again. I think they're going to get their shit together. I think they're going to score 10 this time. I think it's going to be 21-10.
Okay.
Next is Bills at Giants. I'm going Giants. I got to go Giants on this one.
I'm going Buffalo all the way. I love Josh Allen. And
I do too.
He's going to fucking torch the Giants defense.
I don't think he will. I think
my God.
I think it's a trap game for him.
No,
I honestly do.
No way.
I think it's a trap game because
no,
it sounds like an easy opponent. Of course, I said this last week with.
Who do you have next? Oh. Where is it? That is a trap game.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a trap game for both of them.
Well,
that makes no sense, but I think it's a trap game for both.
He's not starting.
Yeah, I know.
For the Jets.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So Bills Giants. I'm going Giants. I feel like the Bills are going to trip themselves up. I think they're going to be their own kryptonite. Don't mark my words, but mark my words at the same time.
I'm going to say 14-7 Buffalo.
I'm going to say 14-7 Giants. I'm going to say same score, just switched. I don't think it's going to be a barn burner. So Patriots, Dolphins. I mean, with Antonio Brown, how can anyone say not Patriots just by how they were doing in week 1 without him? You know.
Well, are they in Miami?
I do not know. Let's see. It is going to be Patriots at Miami.
I'm going Miami.
See, I can see why you say that.
New England's lost the last 5 of 6 in Miami.
But when you have as much firepower as you do, the only thing that would fail them is the defense. But the thing is, I don't think that the Dolphins' offense has anything on them at all. Like, their offense is completely flat and uninspired whenever you watch it. They just don't look like they're able to play.
I'm going to say this one's going to be close. I'm going to go 28-21 Miami.
I think, especially since you saw Minka Fitzpatrick is allowed to get a trade, he's probably not going to want to play, or they're probably not going to play him during his seeking of a trade. I am going to say that they're going to get torched 42-10. So Patriots.
You think they're only going to score 10 points like they did last week?
The Dolphins?
Yeah,
absolutely. I don't see them doing any better this week than they did last week because they have no offensive firepower, and now their defense has just gotten weaker, and their players don't want to play for a tanking team. They've given up on the season.
They're
just
tanking
as much.
for Tua.
Exactly, and most of the players don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't see that being I see that being a huge factor. I don't see the Dolphins playing well at all. I see them getting 10 points in garbage time. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Next, this is your matchup: Chiefs versus Raiders. I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, I gotta say, as much as I love my Raiders, it's gonna be tough. We're without Jonathan Abram. Gary Conley's gonna be limited, even though he's fine. He was cleared to play. He's gonna be limited with his neck injury. We got Cleveland Farrell on the line, but other than that, Carl Joseph and LaMarcus Joyner really need to show up if we're gonna win this game. But I'm gonna say 28-21 Chiefs. I still think we're gonna put up. I still think we're gonna put up a fight.
I was going to say 35-17, actually, Chiefs. Because I just see that the Raiders are going to get beaten down to the point where it's like they just... It's going to be close at first. I am going to say it's going to be close. I'm going to say it's like 17-14 Raiders at half. But then the Chiefs are just going to fucking kick it into overdrive.
Yeah, but playing the Chiefs last year, we beat them at home.
Well, sure. But, I mean, also, guess who else beat the Chiefs last year with Patrick Mahomes at the helm? Jacksonville. They didn't hold him to a single touch. They held him to not a single touchdown, and yet they got fucking destroyed.
Yeah, well.
So I mean, last year I don't really go on the Chiefs narratives because Patrick Mahomes only gotten better and Chiefs only learned his players better. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be close at first, but then it's gonna be 35-17 to the Chiefs.
I think without Tyreek Hill, it's gonna be close because he's gonna have to rely on Sammy Watkins.
That is true. We'll see. So, NFC Championship rematch: Saints versus Rams.
Saints all the way.
Yeah, I mean,
even though it's in LA, I'm gonna go Saints because it's hard to win in LA. Granted, I know all you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, well, fucking Carolina almost beat LA last week in LA." Yes, I know, but look at how Carolina did this week.
Yeah,
look at
Carolina looked like
Cam
shit
Newton.
this year.
Cam Newton's not an elite quarterback anymore.
So far.
I'm sorry, he's not.
He has sparks still, but
No.
the past 2 years he has not played well. Like
No.
3 years ago he was all right. 4 years ago was his MVP season, and it's like he has shown
And he
immediate
shouldn't,
decline.
honestly, he shouldn't have won MVP that season.
I mean, he played really damn well and was on a 15-1 squad, so it's kind of hard not to give him the MVP.
That was the Riverboat Ron year, right? Where they like fully
Yes.
settled in.
Yeah.
That was the year they were all dabbing and
Yeah,
like,
that was the year that they had all their swagger and they had all that like fuck you attitude because they were able to do that. They were able to do
Yeah,
whatever the hell they wanted.
until they got to the Super Bowl and met someone named the Sheriff.
Yeah, my boy. I love Peyton Manning. Everyone's my boy.
Dude, I remember when he was cut from the Colts and
Mhm.
like it was a big mystery of where he was going to go. And the top two teams were Denver and Miami. And I honestly,
yeah, I could not see him going to
no,
Miami.
I wanted him to go to Miami.
I couldn't see it. I mean, of course, now that it's all foresight or hindsight at this point, of course he's not going to go to Miami. But it didn't seem like a good fit for him at the time.
I thought it was. And then he signed with Denver and I was like, oh, this is going to be shit. What the fuck?
And then
Blah,
he
blah,
goes
blah.
and breaks about
And
a
then he
million
goes
and a
and
half
breaks
records.
like all the records. And then like 4 seasons later, Drew Brees is like, hold my beer.
Yeah, dude, I love Drew Brees so much.
The thing is,
he's my favorite.
No one is ever going to. The only person that could possibly, right now, for the next few years, the only person who could possibly pass, because Drew Brees holds the record for all-time career passing yards, right?
If not, he's right there.
I think he does. I think he passed Peyton,
Did he?
passed Brett. I think last season he secured the #1 spot.
Yeah, I mean, and he's still got a good couple years left in him. Even though he's slowing down, I do think he has a couple more years in him. He can easily get to over 85,000 yards without even breaking a sweat.
Easily.
So I mean, the next person that's closest,
No one's gonna break that. I don't think.
not anytime soon. You have to have a quarterback who is consistently consistent for 20 years, like Drew Brees has been. And I don't think that there's any quarterback that can do that right now.
No.
Maybe if Mahomes is able to, I feel like he'd probably be the closest to doing it, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes threw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in his first starting season.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
I don't know.
he wasn't a rookie last year, right? He was
No,
his
it
second
was his
year.
second. He
So
was drafted Trubisky's year.
He basically redshirted.
Yes, essentially.
So wait, no, technically this would be. Oh no, that was
This is
the 20
Mahomes' third year.
Yeah,
and
they were the 2017 draft.
Yeah, Mahomes, Trubisky, and Watson. So next matchup. Oh wait, did we say a score for the Saints-Rams game?
No.
24-21 Saints.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that one.
Last
Last second field goal, Will Lutz.
Yeah.
Chicago.
I'm gonna go
28-21 Chicago.
Okay, fair warning to anybody who is like a purist in terms of predictions and all that shit. I am going with the Bears every week. Every week. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not rooting against my boys. I can't do it.
I'm not rooting against the Raiders either,
Yeah.
but realistically, it's going to be hard for us to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, from a game standpoint,
Realistically-
it is kind of hard to go against. It's kind of hard to go against the Chiefs, period. But thing is, especially with a team like the Bears,
Shit,
it's hard
I forgot
to
who
say no.
I forgot the Chiefs got Shady McCoy too.
Oh yeah, so they
fucking
have a
forgot
running
about
game
that.
again. But so,
Ah!
wow,
That one hurt.
good job. But
That was right on the asshole. Not asshole, but
Asshole.
asshole.
oh,
ACL.
he hit me in the asshole.
He hit me an asshole.
All right, so just to let you know, anytime there's a Bears matchup, you can guarantee that I'm choosing the Bears, no matter what. I don't care. It can be fucking 17-0 in the playoffs, like the Eagles or whatever, versus my 10-6 Bears. I am going for the Bears. I will always choose them. I do not care if I'm wrong. I will go 0-16 for Bears picks if I have to. I don't care. They're not going 0-16, but you get my point.
If they did, they'd have to fire Nagy.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like they should have to fire everybody, cut Trubisky, cut everybody except for somebody who's on the defense, because the defense is the only thing that the Bears have right now. If Trubisky can't get his shit together,
Who are the receivers?
Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel,
Okay, good.
Anthony Miller.
Decent.
Well, he's young. He's a second year in. The tight end, they have Adam Shaheen, which I think is really good.
What about Trey Burton?
And Trey Burton he's injured right now.
He's really good.
I think he is above average. I don't think he's that great though. I feel like he's a little bit overrated just because he was in the Super Bowl.
I think he's a little small to be a tight end.
Yeah, he's more of he's definitely not like a Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski. He is like a receiver thrown in at a tight end spot.
He's like that Darren Weller guy that the Raiders have. He's a tight end. He's 6'6", 265.
I think Adam Shaheen is about the same size. He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
It's a sad thing we'll never get to see Zach Miller play down a football ever again.
Yeah, I know. He was fun. He was actually one of the last. I think he's one of the last players that was part of the 2014 or 15 squad, which was the lowest era of like the Tressman or lowest time of the Tressman era. So it's sad to see him gone. So we have. I mean, it's good because we have no ties to that shit show that it was a couple years ago. But it is kind of like because I really liked him.
Yeah, me too.
He was really fun to watch.
I almost called him a quarterback. Jesus. Tight end.
Zach Miller is a quarterback name, though. So I got Bears. I'm going to say 24-10.
I'm going to go 28-21 again. Yes, that's 3 picks in a row, 28-21.
All right, so we got Eagles and Falcons. This one's hard. It really is. Because
not for me.
The thing is that the Eagles were getting torched by the Redskins until the second half, and the Redskins are not good. So
I disagree. I think the Redskins are very underrated.
I think that they're average right now.
You got Darius Geis, whatever.
Geis, and he's on IR.
The Juice, okay, for the whole season?
Yep.
All right, so you got AP, who's still fucking
old
balling
man
out.
AP, who's
but he's
just
still
crazy
balling
good
out.
Still, yeah.
He's still balling. He rushed for 1,000 yards last season.
I'm still saying he's good. I love
like
AP.
35.
What are you talking about?
So you got him. You got Dwayne Haskins. I'm just calling him Dennis Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins. They're not even starting him right now. They got Case Keenum playing.
What the fuck, Dan Son? What?
It's because he wants.
Start.
Dwayne Haskins is a raw talent still. I think he can be NFL ready. Give him by week 6 because I do think he can learn it, but I don't think he's NFL ready yet. If I'm being completely honest, I think he's right there. I think he has the arm talent and he has the.
He definitely has the arm.
Do it.
He's got one of the. He had, in my opinion, he had the best arm in the rookie class.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I can see that. I think that he is right where he should be. I just don't think he's right where he needs to be, if that makes any sense.
I think if I was a coach, my coaching philosophy in the NFL is if you're a rookie and you're coming out of the draft with all this publicity like Dwayne Haskins and Kyler Murray, I like what they're doing with Kyler. They're starting him so he can learn that way, and that's how I would do
he's able to because he. I mean, if you look at all the quarterbacks in the draft class, he was by far the most NFL ready, and he was by far the best in that pool. I think Dwayne Haskins was a pretty close second, and then you got all the rest of the guys. Not saying that the other guys who were drafted were bad because obviously they're not. They're making it to the NFL. But he was the most NFL ready coming out of college. He was the smartest passer. He was the one who could read defenses the best. He was the one who could fit balls into that tight hole.
Well, that's what she
I'm sorry, that was
he
bad.
he also could do that because he had that baseball experience, which gave him a leg up. Which is why
it's like
he
a Pat Mahomes type thing.
No, and Russell Wilson. He reminds me so much of Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
It's like a spitting. It's like
he is.
He's shorter than him, right?
Yes, I believe so.
He's like 5'6", 5'5".
I don't think he's that short, but I know he's fairly short. The thing is that Kyler Murray, he is like a Russell Wilson, but because he has an offensive line that can block for 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds, he doesn't have to run around as much, and that has helped him a lot.
Oh, he's 5'10".
Is he really?
He looks so much shorter than that.
Yeah, he's still a little. Then again, look at you got to look at it comparatively speaking. He may look small in the NFL next to his 6'10" lineman, where it's like in the NBA. Steph Curry looks short next to Kevin Durant, even though he's still 6'3".
Dude, Dwayne Haskins is 6'3".
Yeah, he's a large man. But either way, so Eagles and Falcons. I'm gonna go Falcons. The Falcons look like shit this year, but if they can turn it on, I feel like that this can be a good game.
You said you're gonna go Falcons?
Falcons.
Yeah, that's
they
what
look like shit this against the Vikings. They look like absolute dog shit. But I think they're gonna be able to bounce back. I don't think it's gonna be a barn burner. I realized I used that term a lot last week.
The Eagles playing did we talk Skins Cowboys?
Yeah, that was earlier.
It's Giants and Detroit, right?
Giants and Bills.
Giants and Bills. I think Daniel Jones needs to be ready to play again this week.
Yeah, I think so too.
I would think what they're gonna do is what they should do is they should
They're gonna
incorporate
start
him.
Eli, I think.
They're gonna start Eli, but they should incorporate Daniel at some point through some games throughout the season, and
Mhm.
eventually by like week 10 or 12 or 10 or 11, they're gonna start Daniel and have him finish out the season.
Yeah.
And by the end of the season, they're gonna reassess. And if they don't like what they see, they're gonna try and keep Eli. And if they do like what they see, then they're gonna either cut Eli or keep him. And if they keep him, they're gonna be like, "Look, we're
Have him
going
be
with
a
Daniel
backup
Jones."
and-
Yeah.
We'll see, because they're in a really weird spot because they drafted a project QB with the 6th overall pick, and they want to be able to start him right away.
They
but I don't think he has the
they
talent.
drafted a second Eli Manning.
Essentially, yeah. The Bears drafted a secondary Jay Cutler, and then they drafted a second Eli. It's.
I don't think Mitch Trubisky is like Cutler.
he is. After
No.
watching both of them, watching Cutler for was it almost 10 years in Chicago. He looks Trubisky looks like Cutler from what I'm seeing. Same reads, same arm issues, same mechanic issues. They both can throw a mile, but they can't throw 5 feet. Like there's nothing showing me that Trubisky will not become another Cutler. Shit ton of potential, just isn't good. I mean, Cutler had one of his best years at the end of his career, and yet Trubisky hadn't even surpassed him in that season. Trubisky's second year wasn't even as good as Cutler's most mediocre year for the most part.
Yeah.
So I just he's
Well,
young.
he also had that sophomore. You got to keep in mind a sophomore slump.
Sophomore slump. That was last year though. So last year
you
was
said
his good.
last year. His second year was his last year.
Last year was his best year so far out of the 3. Because this year I'm gonna start counting because last week he looked like shit. Doesn't matter
Yeah, he did.
preseason or not. You don't lose awareness and football IQ without playing the preseason.
Back to the predictions.
Yeah, my bad. Remember, last week I said at the end of the season I'm gonna break down Trubisky. So we'll see. So Eagles Falcons. We didn't say a score. I'm saying Falcons. I'm gonna say it's not gonna be a high scoring game. 21-17.
42-35 Atlanta.
Oh wow. All right. So now I think it's gonna be the most fun game, even though a certain starting quarterback isn't playing. Last game of the week, Monday, Browns at Jets, I believe.
I'm most excited for that game.
I am so excited. Like I love watching football. Period, and I'm excited to watch my Bears play. But god damn it, am I not excited to see the Browns versus
I
the
know,
Jets?
dude. And I was excited to see the Browns last week, and then OBJ goes out there with a $350,000 watch. And as Warren Sapp said, you can't go out with a $500,000 watch, a $350,000 watch, and play like a $2 bill.
Yeah.
That is the most savage shit I have ever heard.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
good.
it's so true.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with that. But
I'm gonna go Browns 21-0.
who is the backup quarterback for the Jets? Yeah, I don't know either. It's not McCown anymore, is it?
No, I was gonna say McCown. McCown backs up Wentz.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do not know what the starting quarterback
I
is
will
gonna
find
be.
out. Bear with me here.
It is going to.
No. Let me get there. Let me get there.
No, I don't want. No, stop. We're so professional.
Is it Christian Hackenberg?
No, I don't think so. God, this is so professional, guys. Bear with us, please.
Oh man.
Says they will not play second year. Oh wait, no, it doesn't even say. The hell?
They haven't named a starting QB yet.
I'm sure they have, but it's not popping up.
His backup is Trevor Siemian.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm going Browns all the way.
Trevor Siemian is starting. It says Trevor Siemian, 5 things to know about the New York Jets starting.
Yeah, I am going Browns all the way. There is no Trevor Siemian is not is not the answer. I'm going Browns. I'm going to say 28-7.
Did you know that Fitzpatrick played for the Jets twice?
Yeah. Well, I think he played for the Jets and then he had a contract holdout and they're like we're not going to pay you as much as you want. He goes to search around for other jobs, doesn't find anything, and they give him a pity 1-year contract, and then he goes and signs with the Bucks. That's as far as I recall.
Yeah, because I remember when he was first with the Jets, he was 14, and then when he came back, he was 15 because
Yeah.
Darnold had 14.
I think when you accidentally kicked the desk, I think that changed the camera angle.
How?
I don't know, because I'm more in frame now. I'm gonna go change that real quick. So we're gonna do.
I mean,
a little...
that's okay. It's fine the way it is, isn't
Are you
it?
sure? Oh wait, yeah. Oh, it's because you're leaning back.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. We're good. We're good, folks.
I was
Professionals
like,
here. It's because you're leaning over. It threw me off. Okay.
Hold on. Let's see. No, he played for the Jets for for 2015, 2016
Wait, are you talking about?
season.
You said Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick, yeah.
He had 2 tenures.
2015, 2016, it says.
Uh huh. Let's see. Jets 15, 16. What was the? No, 15, 16 are the years he played through there.
Yeah, that's
so he played the
15
15 season and the 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not two. He didn't play for the Jets.
I thought
twice.
he had a second.
No, he played for the Jets. Wanted a bigger contract. They didn't give it to him.
He wore 15 in Tampa Bay.
There you go.
Oh, fuck.
There you go. Yeah, because I was gonna say Fitzpatrick never played with Sam Darnold on the squad. They got rid of Fitzpatrick when they drafted him.
Yeah. Yeah, but Browns all the way this week.
Yep, Browns. All right. Enough of football. That was a lot of time on football. Sorry, guys. We love football. So
I'm not sorry.
We're not sorry. So the topic that we wanted to get onto today was actually very different from football. It's something that I kind of had this idea for like the first couple weeks before we really started getting into music and sports, and like before we kind of defined what our podcast was going to be about week to week. This is something that I've thought about for a while, and it's personal growth / advice we've come across / just a bunch of other things, like regrets that we've had in life, stuff that is really like who has shaped us today. Now this is going to be a big tonal shift from what we normally do. It's not going to be as comedy based and sports and music based and all that shit. It's going to be a little bit more serious. So I think you made a list, right? You made a list for yourself as well? Because I made a list.
I did not make a list.
Oh, well, okay.
I'm just going to spit it off the top of the brain because I got a lot of those.
Okay, so we'll just do like a back and forth, and
Yeah.
we'll just kind of figure it out. Because I got 4 right here, and I'm sure I'll think of more. So if you want to start off.
Oh, my biggest regret in life, shit. Well, besides all of them,
Well, it doesn't have to be biggest. They can just be regrets that have taught you a lesson.
dropping out of college, that taught me a big lesson.
I didn't even know you went to college.
Yeah, I did for about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that just shows we haven't. There was that period where we didn't talk to each other all that much.
I also that was online school, but still it was college.
Yeah.
I was studying cybercrime and criminal justice. I wanted to go into like the law enforcement, and I still have like this subtle feeling that like I see these these true crime stories that like haven't been solved, and it's like I listen to like a podcast like the one I've been listening to recently, To Live and Die in LA. It's about this chick in LA who's went missing in 2018 actually. And the podcast was released earlier this year, and she's still missing. They don't know what happened to her. Yeah, righty. So 40.
We are back. Sorry about
41 to
46, 45.
Yeah.
So that took 5 minutes to try and set back up. Look at that. We're back, folks. Woo! All right. Sorry, our camera just cut out because for some reason the charger wasn't plugged in. Smart, huh? So, where were we?
Dropping
out of college.
Dropping out of college, yeah. So I
Being
dropped
a fucking loser.
Yeah, right. No, so I dropped out because honestly, when I was going to school, and I was living in Colorado at the time, and I was working for I was working, and just the way my work schedule was with my school schedule, I made it so I could have time to go online and go to class and shit like that. But I was just so tired after work that at certain points I was just like, you know what, fuck this, I'm not gonna go to class. Like fuck all that. My grades eventually started to drop, and I was like, you know what, I don't see a point in this anymore. Like this shit isn't fun for me.
Yeah, no,
and it's
I can see that.
I'm not really getting an education because I'm just online. Like I'm just reading shit that I could read somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So I fucking dropped out, and for a while it was like really shitty. For like 6 months I was like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna do? I felt like shit, and I still kind of feel like, now that like a lot of my friends are in college and getting degrees and
Mhm.
shit, and I'm over here without a degree, and I'm doing, what I'm doing now, which is beautiful. I love it. I love everything I do now, and
I was gonna say, you
it's
don't love this?
it's great.
Why invite me if you didn't want me?
And it's not that I don't. I regret dropping out of college. It's not that I regret doing what I did after college.
Yeah.
If I had the chance to go back with the same amount of credits, I would. I wouldn't. I would change my major.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually planning on going back eventually. I want to go to Columbia, get a film degree, and entertainment. Obviously, I want to do something with the entertainment industry. You're looking
Clearly,
at this.
we wouldn't be doing this for 2 months if it wasn't for actually
Right.
wanting to do it.
Holy shit, 2 months.
Yeah, it's been 10 weeks because this is episode 9, but we missed the week because I was out of town. So, 10 weeks of doing this shit. Are you guys having fun yet?
Woo!
Took us 10 weeks to finally get a video going.
I wanna-
mean, hey.
Yes. Another regret. Oh yeah. Dropping out of college, mainly for me. It's just I learned a lot there that I, didn't learn here. But at the same time, I'd definitely go back if I could.
Oh, absolutely. I could definitely. I could see where you're coming from that. That's why I went to do the schooling for audio production and everything.
I still have that like nagging, inner voice. It's like, oh, you fucking degenerate. Everyone over
Yeah.
here is getting a degree, and you're a piece of shit with no degree.
I still
like,
have that one, even though I graduated from doing
right,
what I
exactly.
wanted to
And I
do.
think that's because of like our parents' generation, especially teachers in high school, putting all that pressure on you. You have to go to college. You have to go to college. You have to go to college. Look, you don't.
No, it's not. It's not the end of the world if you don't. I ended up taking a gap year.
That's what I did before.
Just to do
no,
work
I didn't take a. Technically,
Well, I mean, I took a year off
Took, like,
of
6
school
months
and
off.
started working. Literally, so there was graduation. I took like what was the summer off, like what would be for a school year, and then once it hit September, I want to say I started working.
yeah, that's how I was. I went to school and started going to school in
Yeah.
September. But I was, like I said, it's online school, so I was working
Yeah.
at the same time. But it's
But then I worked for a year, and then I started classes for production in September. So I literally took a full year off.
yeah.
So don't. A lot of people will say that if you take a gap year, you're not coming back. That's not true. It's not like you take a gap year and you're gonna forever
Well,
be like.
keep in mind that's not entirely true. For some people, it might be.
Oh,
For
sure.
others, it's not.
Well, because some people will take a gap year and realize, yeah, school definitely is not for me. I'm glad I didn't go. So it's a case by case basis, absolutely.
Definitely, definitely.
But don't think that you have to go to school. Don't think that it's an absolute necessity. To do what you feel is right
Right.
for you. Don't be pressured into shit that you don't feel comfortable doing.
The biggest thing, I'll go into real quick. I'll go into what I learned from all that. The biggest thing I learned from all that is you are your own person.
Yeah, talking to Mike a little bit. Just bringing it.
Sorry,
There
you are
go.
your. The biggest thing I learned from that is that you are your own person.
Absolutely.
Right. So you don't have to. Yeah, you may feel all the pressure from the outside world to, be, be a certain type of person, have a certain job, have a cookie cutter life. You go to work 9 to 5, work in your cubicle.
Yeah,
You
don't
come
be
home,
a nuisance to
drive
society.
your Prius, and drink wine and go to bed. Like that's you don't have to do that. You
No,
don't.
not at all.
If you wanna,
If you want to go ahead and work on a farm and drink beer and then go to bed, you do that.
right? If you wanna do, if you wanna, fucking.
If you want to work at Target, do a podcast on the weekends, and drink enough Monster to kill a small Indian child, do that. Because that's what I do. I actually don't drink that much Monster anymore, but my point still stands.
Yeah, you could do that. You literally could do anything you want in this world. Just don't. I mean, if you're gonna do something illegal, do something mildly illegal. Okay?
Yeah, don't do anything illegal that is going to get you
arrested.
Really,
And if you
disclaimer,
do-
don't do anything illegal. We're not telling you to. I feel like we should do that for a legal thing.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not
promoting
telling you to do anything illegal,
activities.
but
If you want to,
if you feel like
it's your
that's
life.
your discretion.
Yeah, that's the point here. Is that it's anything you do in life is at your discretion and
Yeah.
nobody else's. And a lot of people, I feel like, don't get that and
No,
understand
not
that.
at all. I didn't get that for a while. That
a lot of
actually
people-
brings in one of my points too later on.
A lot of people our parents' age still don't get that, and even
Mhm.
older. Like, I feel like my grandma doesn't get that.
Yeah.
My grandma's 80 years old and she doesn't get it, and granted, she still thinks the hard R is okay. She
What?
says
It's not.
we're not
Shit.
we're not doing that this week. She says cotton picking all the time, so
Oh
it's
my
like
god,
yeah.
that's hilarious.
She's like this cotton picking,
Wow.
yeah.
Well,
And she's
I like
like-
the phrase like wait a cotton picking minute. That's funny.
Yeah, she says that too, but she says that in public. And like whenever I go with my grandma in public, I make sure to take her to like very urban places
yeah.
to see like to test her like
Is she
political
still gonna
correctness
say it?
in public.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a fuck, dude.
No. I mean, at that point, like if I ever make it to that, I'm just gonna say whatever the hell I want because people are either gonna think A, I'm senile, B, I'm too old to be worth their time, or C, they just end me. Which I mean, if I'm 80, I feel like I would want that by that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from for the original point that you
Yeah.
made. But that does tie into like the whole responsibility and like and figuring out what you need to do.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
figure out what's best for yourself.
And if it was lost in there, again, the whole point of what I learned from that experience of dropping out was just be you, man.
Yeah,
And be
absolutely.
And if it's not comfortable at first doing what you want to do, that's okay.
Yeah, as long as you're still having fun doing it or you still feel like you're on the right path, that's what matters. You don't have to you don't have to worry if something doesn't feel right at first.
Just take it day by day, really.
Exactly. When I first started doing school, when I first started doing my classes, I felt so kind of I didn't feel right being in the studio working with my mentor.
Mhm.
I just felt off. I felt like, is a studio really something that I want to do? Do I really want to be doing this for all this time? Do I feel like I'm good enough? But eventually, by the time I reached the 2-3 month mark, I finally started just like, instead of walking in and being like, okay, cool, I'm in the studio, I'm here, I'm talking to people. I'm able to open up a little bit, which that's another point I brought up too. It is something that you learn. It is something that you have to get used to.
Mhm.
But it's something that if you work on it and you go towards it and it's something that you really enjoy doing, you will eventually find yourself feeling natural in that environment.
Yeah, definitely.
So that, I mean, I'll touch on those points later because my first point is a little bit less serious and I feel like it'll kind of be like, it's just something that I want to say. Throughout high school, I never drank water. Drink fucking water.
Dude, I did the
Drink
same
water.
fucking thing. I still don't really drink water.
I drink water on a regular basis. Like most of the time, you'll see me drink Monster in the morning, or like since I've been working overnights, I'll drink it before work. But for the love of God, drink water. If you feel like shit, I'm not lying to you. Drinking water is crazy. I know a lot of people say that, and a lot of people are like, "Yeah, drink water, man. It's all healthy and shit, and it'll help clear up all your stuff." I didn't care for the longest time. I would drink whatever the hell I wanted. I drank a lot of bullshit that ended up fucking me over.
I'm doing that
internally.
now.
Yeah. I never got to alcohol because I just don't drink. In that case, but I used to drink a Monster every day and then have no water throughout, and that hurt a lot.
That's bad on your liver.
Oh, absolutely. It's just obviously I am a big boy, which that didn't help. But if you just drink water, you will feel a million times better. I'm not lying, because for one, it clears up your skin like crazy. One of my friends, he never really drank water for a while, and he had terrible acne, like absolutely awful acne. And I'm like, how much water do you drink? And he thought I was lying. He thought I was messing with him. He thought I was joking. He thought I was just being an asshole. I'm like,
this
no.
is new information to me. I never
Yeah,
knew any
no,
of
it'll
this.
clear up your skin. You stay hydrated, your skin will be clear.
I got
now,
some big pores too, so like
now my skin isn't the clearest. I still have shit pop
Yeah,
up
me
every
too.
once in a while. Everybody does, because you still gotta wash your face, you nasty. Wash your face. Wash your face.
and your hands.
And your hands.
And your
your
ass. Yeah, wash your ass.
But really, if you stay hydrated and you keep it going and you keep drinking throughout the day, literally just have a water bottle on you, like get your little hydro flask and just take some drinks from it. Yeah, be a little Visco girl. Who gives a shit? That's another point that I have. Other people's opinions, fuck them. I'll get to that. But drink water. Just drink water. That is a huge regret of mine, is that up until about senior year, I did not drink water. I didn't really care for my body as much as I should have, and I'm paying for it now, having a bad knee and a bad hip trying to play hockey. It's not really easy. So just that's my whole point is, treat your body right.
Yeah.
Drink some water. Be healthy. Stop being fat. Fuck you. Eat a fucking salad.
There
Cunt.
is. We're not fat shaming. I'm
Motherfucker,
not.
I am fat. I am fat shaming. Eat a salad.
I mean, that shit works.
Take a run.
If you ask. I mean, sometimes it works.
Go to the gym. Have yourself a little treadmill walk if
And
you don't
that's-
want to walk outside.
That's the inspirational speech from Austin
Yeah.
today.
Hey, I've lost easily about 20 to 30 pounds just from going skating once to twice a week.
I mean, yeah, dude, you're definitely lighter than you were in high school. Huh?
Absolutely. I'm a lot lighter than I was this time last year. Now, am I as light as I would want to be? Of course not. I still got at least 50 pounds until I'm content. But it's still the point that if you just make simple changes, drink water, fucking eat right, change your diet, and just, you don't even have to work out. If you just change your diet and drink water more than soda, then you're going to lose weight. You're going to look better. You're going to feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
Now,
And you
of
don't have
course-
to, like, you can't expect it to happen overnight because that
Oh,
shit's
of course
not
not.
going to.
Now, of course, I'm saying this as someone who wanted to do it for himself. I didn't want to do it for other people. I didn't care about what other people thought of me. I just didn't feel like feeling like shit all the time.
Right.
Because like I said, I got 3 other points that we've already touched on, but I want to touch on a bit later. But other people's opinions don't matter. So don't think I'm trying to say, oh, fucking get thinner, you fat fuck. Just do it so you look better for everybody else, so you're not a disgrace on society. No, if you're content with being a big boy, big girl, whatever the hell, if you're content with that, go right ahead.
And if you want to lose the weight to make society think you look good, then,
Then
do
fucking
it.
do it. Don't put it off. Don't think that, oh man, I wanted to go to the gym, but I missed today. So I'm just gonna fucking eat a whole bag of chips because I'm hopeless. I'll never lose that weight. And I've been at that point. I have been to the point where I'm like, oh man, I missed skating today. I guess I'm gonna have to go tomorrow. And then go get tempted to go grab a handful of chips like 16 different times anytime I go in the kitchen to get myself a drink.
It's
It's a slippery slope,
Yeah,
and you
it's-
need to
there's a-
fucking.
there's a term for that. It's like people like it's just our brains function to like go and eat when we're sad or when we're bored.
Or absolutely when I'm bored.
Especially when I'm bored, yeah.
It's like,
But
go ahead.
I was gonna say eat not a lot, but I like not a lot in one sitting, but I'll eat quite a bit throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, I'm still fucking hungry. But it's because
You're
on the days,
snacking. You're not real
yeah,
eating.
like tomorrow, I know for a fact since I don't work tomorrow, I'm gonna be snacking and eating all fucking day
Yeah.
because I don't have shit to do.
Well, Sunday's the only day I do that at this point now because it's Sunday. I'm sitting around all day.
Yeah, it's a
like
Sabbath.
when it's football, it's just I know that it's like little appetizers. Oh, nice little knuckle crack.
Thank
Some
you.
ASMR going. But I know that it's snacks and it's just kind of hanging out with the parents. I know that's what it is.
So, someone asked me the other day what my religion was, and I was like pigskin, and they're like, "What?" I said pigskin, and they're like, "What's pigskin?" And I turned around as I'm walking away, and I go, "It's football in America."
Football in America.
Fucking Sam Elliott.
All right. So next thing that you want to talk about, Nate.
Let's go in. I'm gonna go into something I learned.
Okay.
I learned. Let's see. Where do I want to start? I'm gonna go with what I learned last night, actually, at work. Talking to one of the comics. Actually, I got his sticker here on my phone. You can't really see it. Mr. Kyle Clark.
Kyle.
Check
Clark.
out his podcast. This is rad.
After listening to
After listening to this, yes, check out Kyle's podcast. This is rad. Check out his record label as well. I don't know what his record label is. It's rad something. But yeah, no, me and Kyle were talking last night,
Kyle
and
and I.
what?
Kyle and I.
Kyle and I. You fucking grammar nuts. All right, that's this. You know what? You did that one other time in the 10 weeks that we've been doing this. I've been pretty good, so I'm.
Oh no, you're.
I'm 2 for 10.
Yeah, you're batting about 800 right now.
Batting about 800. That's better than half the MLB. So
That's better than everyone in the MLB. What are you talking about?
that's better than my batting average.
That's better than every batting average in the
that's-
history of baseball.
That's better than every batting
Ha,
average.
ha, ha, ha,
I see
ha,
what you
ha,
did
ha.
there. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we were talking about it, and we were talking about comedy.
Hey, your feet aren't in frame this time.
No, they are
Look at
not.
that.
And I have socks on this week. I thought about putting on shoes before I came down here so I could have a better like grip on the table and shit. But like, oh, there we go. So yeah, we were talking about comedy, and you know, for those of you who know me, I'm about 3, almost 4 years in, somewhere between 2 to 4. I'm not exactly sure. But, I'm at the point where I haven't done any shows in about a month or so now,
Oof.
almost 2. And it's because I've lost touch, I feel like. I've lost touch with society.
And the youths.
I've lost touch with, people my age. I've kind of secluded myself, and, with working 2 jobs, I don't really have a lot of free time to go out. And for my material, what I do to come up with material is I could go out by myself and I people watch. I notice things. I listen. I eavesdrop on things. And,
He's like a less talented Jerry Seinfeld.
I'll take that. I've really never seen any of Jerry's comedy, but from what you said, I assume Jerry does a lot of.
It's fairly observational.
Yeah, that's the best term I was gonna say. Observational. I do a lot of self-deprecating, but observational humor is my thing, and I haven't really had time to write a new material, so, I had to pull out of the show on the 28th.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
So if you got your tickets, which I know nobody fucking did, and don't oh yeah, I did. No, you didn't, because
Ouch. Calling people out. Huh?
yeah.
Already.
No,
You're calling
no.
out people who aren't even saying anything.
Yeah, no, exactly. If you comment on the the audio, oh, there's my foot.
There's the foot.
That's super white. If you comment on the audio or the video and saying you bought the tickets, that's bullshit. Well, you might have bought the tickets for like another artist, but you didn't buy my tickets. And I'm not mad. That's not why I had to pull out a show. I pulled out of the show because I'm at a certain point in my comedy career where I've hit a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle and I were talking last night, and I told him I hit a wall.
Yeah.
And I can't write any new material. And he's like, what kind of material do you do? I was like, observational and a lot of self-deprecating. And he's like, well, how long is your set? Like, what do you have, can you do consistently without worrying about it? I was like, 15. He's like, oh shit, that's pretty good. And he said, don't worry about,
again.
Huh?
Your foot's in frame again.
He said, don't worry about doing your set at first. Worry about just when you get up there, take a quick look over the room and start doing observational on there, on stage.
Play the crowd.
Play the crowd. Start doing writing material on stage.
Yeah.
And he's like, I showed him my book, and I'm the type of person who I don't write the tags or, I used to, in my phone, you'll see that for my new material, the new set I'm writing, I wrote down just like the certain tags of the joke that'll help me
as
come
like
up
little,
with it.
Like points that come up that it's like the meat of the joke without having all the filler.
Yes, exactly. And before in my book, not my journal, in my journal or notebook, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're from, I would write out the entire joke.
Okay.
And then I would try and memorize it. And then if I didn't hit any of the words, if I missed a word, or if I said it out of place, it would mess me up.
Yeah.
So I would just, end the joke there.
That's something that would happen when I used to play live shows for music. If I hit a wrong chord or if I hit a wrong note, if I sang the wrong word, I would freeze up.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
Yeah, and that's what I told him happens. And he was like, don't worry about that. He's like, act like you didn't even notice it happened.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
he's
If
like,
you,
and
if you play
do-
it cool, no one else will really think about it. They'll be like, did he just... I guess not.
Yeah. And like we were just talking like even if you're at even though I'm at a wall, every comic hits a wall.
Absolutely.
And
Every artist, every sort of entertainer hits a wall at one point or another.
And he said he asked me if I lost my passion for it, and I told him I was kind of a little bit. I haven't really had the motivation to get out. Every once in a while I'll have the motivation to get out and go do a mic or a show based on who I see's on the show. I'll try and get on with them.
Yeah.
But recently I really haven't had the motivation or anything like that. I've just been writing and stuff, and it's more of fear of the fact that I can't really get anything done with the comedy really, so I feel like I'm losing my touch.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, that happens all the time. He's like, use that as fuel. He's like, just
Oh,
write whatever.
absolutely.
It's like, just write whatever comes to your head. Write what you can.
Oh, especially if you don't think it's good.
Yeah.
It's especially if you don't think it's good. That's the stuff
yeah.
that you want to write down.
And that's what he said. I was like, I have a lot of throwaway shit. He's like, keep it. He's like, a lot of your throwaway shit that you might not think is good, other people do.
Hey, it's like our B-roll.
Yeah.
We have the B-roll before every single episode, and it's shit that we I cut out it from the beginning before we do our intro, but we just made literally almost half an episode out of it because it was
That was
funny
fucking
moments.
great.
It was fun.
If you haven't
so,
listened
yeah.
to that yet, go back
I
and
think that was
listen to
episode
it.
6 or 7.
7, because Kevin was around, so it
Yeah.
was 7.
But yeah, so it is like what you said. It's something that you don't be afraid to write something or tell a joke that flops. Like I tell jokes that flop all the time. 90% of my jokes are flops. But it's what helps you learn, and if it's a joke that you don't think is good and you go with it anyway, later on you might be like, "Oh, that was funny.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. That was good." Or it's especially if it's a heat of the moment thing, just tell the joke or like write down or play the chord, do whatever the hell it is. If it's a creative thing, go ahead and do it because you'll probably most likely look back at it later and realize, hey, there was something there. Of course, you may doubt yourself at that time because if you're in a rut, you're gonna doubt yourself no matter what.
Right.
It's gonna happen because you know you're in a rut, so you don't think you can get out of it. But all you need is that one thing to be written down, to be done a certain way, and you'll be able to. That'll help you get out of the rut eventually, whether or not it's for the good reason or the bad reason. Because if it sounds like shit, you'd be like, oh, I can do this to fix it up, or I can do this to make it sound better, or this to make it make more sense. And then all of a sudden, you're writing an entire joke, you're writing a monologue, or you're writing a script, or you're writing a whole goddamn song.
And there's like, so my style is observational, like my material, the basis of my material is observational, but my delivery style, I've been trying to work on. I've been trying to do, more setup, punchline, tag.
Yeah.
Right? I've been doing that a lot, but what I want to start doing is just go up there and kind of monologuing conversationalist wise. And that plays into a lot of crowd work. So that's a lot of asking crowd questions and, off the cuff stuff. And I like when comics do that. I love that. And I kind of want to do that myself. I feel like I'm more of a, face to face, let's have a conversation and I've got this whole material and my material, I'm going to make this set funny based on how you react to my question on my material.
Yeah.
And, now I'm not saying that like, I don't have any shows anymore and not doing that like that.
Don't worry, Nate Finley fans, he'll be back.
Yeah, the two of you. I'm actually going to be at Crossroads in Wooddale, September 21st.
There you go.
So,
You got something planned.
Yep. I'm only gonna.
It's
I only
only
got
a week away.
See a 5-minute guest spot, but if you guys are in Wooddale or something like that, or you want to come out and check out all the other comedians, my buddy Brooks Sullivan will be on that as well. A few other good local comics. I don't know the entire set list yet, but I will let that be known when I can. I'm gonna start updating my comedy page on Facebook more often as well. I don't do that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But yeah,
Facebook.
Long story short, I learned last night is if I hit a wall, he's like, just because I hit a wall, just because I hit a wall doesn't mean it's over with.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just got to find a way over the wall.
100%. Yeah, you gotta find a way over, around, or under that wall.
Or through.
I mean, if you got
it's the Berlin.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So, so the next point that I'm gonna kind of touch on these next two, not including I have 3 more. I'm gonna touch on these last 2 because the last one is a little bit longer, and we already went over these 2 briefly. So, first one is don't be afraid to take responsibility. It's something that a lot of people don't know.
I myself have problems with that sometimes.
Everybody does. Everybody has issues at one point or another. You're afraid to take responsibility simply because there's an element of the unknown, of course. That's the whole that's what drives most fear.
At the same time, don't take responsibility for things you didn't do.
Oh, no. That's
So, like,
I'm saying I should have worded that better. Don't be afraid to take responsibility for yourself.
Yeah.
Like if it's something that you have, if there's something that's going on in your life and it's not going right and it's clearly something that you can change, do not be afraid to go make that change. Do not be afraid to look at yourself from a third person perspective and be like, oh shit, that needs to change. Because I don't really count this as a regret, but it's something that I do. It has changed the way I think about things, and it has changed how I am since high school, especially. But it's something that like you have to pull yourself away from what you think you are. It's really hard to do. It's really hard to take a step back and think about yourself in a critical way because no one wants to be critical of themselves. Nobody wants to deal with criticism. But it's really important to realize, like, hey, I'm doing this wrong, or I'm being an asshole. I'm doing shit that I shouldn't be.
Right.
Now, sometimes there are things that you just won't see. You will not see what other people are because your views are inherently different. That's just the nature of being a different person. But if it's something that you notice is wrong, if it's something that can change via you just not being an asshole and actually paying attention to it, don't be afraid to it's like, don't be afraid to apologize when you're wrong. If you know you're wrong and you really were hard-headed but later on realize, like, oh shit, this is kind of fucked up, I messed up, well then don't be afraid to be like, hey man, I fucked up. It's something that I didn't mean for this to happen, or I didn't mean for it to come out that way, whatever the case is, and just fucking man up, or woman up, I guess, if you're a woman. But
Or
like,
they,
he,
whatever your
him,
pronoun is.
he, him, she, her,
We're
they,
progressive
them,
here.
it. I don't know what the plural of it would be. It's. Either way, don't be afraid to take responsibility for yourself. I feel like that's a huge thing that a lot of people don't realize. I mean, you could be 10 years old, you could be 15, you could be 30, you could be fucking 80. Just take a step back, realize your faults, realize your shortcomings, and own up to them. Don't be a victim. I think is a big thing.
Don't be
too.
a victim of your own.
Don't always play the victim when something's not going right for you. Like,
Right,
got to take
right.
a step back and realize, why
Exactly.
is it going wrong for me? Why is this thing happening to me?
90% of our problems we cause ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's just something that I learned throughout. It wasn't so much in high school, because I was pretty much the same me throughout high school.
I was oblivious as fuck in high school, man.
There's a lot of, everybody's a fucking idiot in high school. If you say that you weren't an idiot in high school to how you are now, even though we've only been out of it going on 2.5, almost 3 years, I think. Oh, 2.5. You're 3. You're 3.5. I'm 2.5. If you think you're the same if you don't think that you were an idiot at 17, 18 years old compared to when you're 20, 21, even that 2-month gap, you are the same. If you're the same person, you need to take you definitely are one of those people that need to take a step back.
What do you mean 2-month gap?
I mean 2-year gap.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, my bad. If there's that, even a 6-month gap in between the high school and I think this is what I meant to say, is what I misspoke. Even if it's only a 6-month gap, you should have grown as a person. You should grow as a person no matter what point in your life you are within those 2 years or 6 months, whatever the hell it is. You really, if you're the same person, you need to take a step back and think about yourself, because it could be for a good thing or a bad thing, but most of the time, the people who don't think that they've changed since high school are the people who needed to change. Because anyone who is able to admit, yeah, I messed up, or I was an idiot when I was a teenager, that's someone who is very self-aware. That's someone who is able to accept their shortcomings. If you think that you were the same person and it's okay to be the same person that you were in high school, that means you need to grow up.
Yeah, I definitely
there are
agree.
no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you think you are the same person you were in high school, you need to sort your shit out, because you shouldn't be. I'm sorry.
Unless you were like,
Unless you're a fucking model student and already a CEO at that point, that's a different story.
or if you were like the captain of the football team, you had good grades.
If
you
you
were, like,
had a
like
lot
you
of
said, model
positives,
student,
that's
yeah.
fine. But I'm talking more of like an attitude perspective, in terms of like the shit, your decision making, your shortcomings. If you have the same shortcomings as you did in high school and you have no personal growth over that time, that means you're missing something.
There's the kids who bullied me senior year, who were like the popular kids, and they were also like starters and captains of the football team.
Yeah.
And this is gonna sound weird, but like I low key like stalked their Twitter profiles the other day, because like they're not the type of guys that use Facebook. They're the type of guys that use Twitter.
Yeah.
And they are the exact fucking same.
Oh, absolutely.
So I sent him a
Most of
message.
the jocks are.
So I sent him a message, and I was like, "Hey, man, you bullied me in high school, but it's all cool, man. I just want to thank you, because you're the reason I actually enjoy doing what I do now."
Yeah.
And I was like, "And if you guys didn't make me want to kill myself in high school, I probably wouldn't be the happiest I've been in a long time."
It takes your lowest lows to reach your highest highs at sometimes.
Yeah, and now I'm not gonna name names, but
You know who you are.
you know who you are. So thank you.
Thank you.
And try not to make anyone want to kill themselves anymore. All
Yeah.
right, boys?
Dick. So that's one thing. And then this goes on to here with it kind of goes with bullying, and it kind of goes with that. So very good segue, huh?
Yeah.
Others' opinions don't matter. I know we touched on it again.
I also saw your note, so I was like, I'm gonna
just work
transition
towards
into
it.
that.
So others' opinions do not matter of you. Or other opinions of you do not matter.
See, that was also another thing I had learned was my next point was gonna be like, don't let the bully let you become the bully.
Yeah.
Which is basically don't let others' opinions matter.
Yeah. Don't let other people's opinions of you dictate how you act and feel. Because really, especially in high school, a lot of these qualify for school. So if you're young and still in school listening to this,
which is most of our demographic,
I'm sure. Whether it's college, high school, fucking, if you're in elementary school, why are you listening to us? But still, if you let people's opinions dictate you, think about it this way. Are they still going to be around you? Are they still going to matter in 6 months? Most likely not. Like if you are out of school, or if you're out of their general area where they are able to judge you, are they going to be around in your personal space to really make you feel bad? Unlikely. Unless they're one of those pieces of shit that'll go on social media to do that too, which I don't really think happens that much anymore.
Now when we were in high school.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure it still does happen to an extent. But I think it was a little bit before when I was on social media that was really big.
Yeah, definitely. I still see it
every once in a while. Yeah, like because they're always going to be petty pieces of shit, no matter what.
Internet trolls.
Yeah, but that's exactly why you shouldn't let it bother you, because they're going out of their way to fuck with you. I mean, that just shows how low they are. So that's not necessarily the thing that I'm completely touching on, because, like I said, when I was talking about not being a fat ass. And improving yourself. Don't do it for those other people, because those other people don't give a shit about you. They're gonna fuck with you whether or not you're perfect, or whether or not you're perfect, or you look like a goddamn goblin.
And normally the thing that they pick on you for is their biggest insecurity.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So if you
that's like homophobes hating faggots.
Yep. There was
sorry about using that word, but that's just the word that I use. That's the first word that came to mind.
There's 90% of I don't want to say 90%, because like a lot of homophobic people are actually in the closet.
Yeah.
And it's usually
not
the ones,
all of them, but a good chunk of them. I'm sure.
A good chunk of them, and it's usually the ones that are super homophobic.
Absolutely, ones who will like beat the shit out of gay people.
Yep, because they don't want you to know.
Yep, and they're insecure. That's the same people who are overly masculine, overly bro-like, because they're insecure with their masculinity.
Yeah.
Of course, there are just jocks and all that are bros, because that's just the environment that they're in. But it's a lot to do with, like, if they're poking at you for having a fucked up nose, they probably are insecure with their nose, or vice versa when it comes to anything.
Or it was like a childhood thing that like their stepfather, stepmother, some shit like that. Yeah.
Or it's just an easy thing to pick on, because I never had bullies, thankfully. This kind of goes with my last point as well.
Were you a bully at one point? Were you a bully at one point?
Supposedly.
So was I. After I had gotten bullied.
Yeah. Supposedly I was a bully because like one of my closest friends throughout high school, and like we met in middle school and we went through high school. I never knew anything was wrong until one day he decided that I made a passing comment, because I thought it was just like, oh hey, this is cool, like this is nice, like look at that. And he just snapped on me, called me a bully, a piece of shit, and told me to go fuck myself. And
was it RPS?
Huh?
RSPS or RPS?
Mr.
No.
That
sounds like something he would do.
No. We've been cool. We have never had issues. Ryan, we're cool. He's my boy.
He remembers. If Ryan, you watch this. Remember, you and I almost fought in my fucking driveway when you were living here. That's a story for off the air.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But no. You met him. I know for a fact.
Tell me the story later. Tell me his name later.
Either way, so apparently I was a bully at that point, even though none of my other friends have told me so, and I've never had anybody else tell me that I've been a bully. But we'll go with it. We'll even say that I was a bully. If I was a bully and I was bullying somebody, it wasn't intentional. But if someone is bullying you and it is intentional and they're going after you, it's not gonna be the end of the world unless it's a family member genuinely being a piece of shit to you. That can end up being an issue.
Yeah.
But if it's someone in school, it's not. I don't know. It's kind of it's really do yourself. Do you.
And yeah,
Be yourself.
all of the points we're making is a lot easier said than done as well.
Oh, 100%.
And if you,
it's easy to say for us because we have gone through
right,
it. We have
right.
broken
and
through.
Yeah.
It's like telling a depressed person how to stop being depressed.
Exactly. And if you are going through these situations that we're talking about and you want, to talk to someone who went through it, we're, not only us, we're open to it,
Yeah.
but there's also plenty of, we're not fucking professionals, so we should not be your first choice. But there's tons of, help, toll-free call lines. You got, if you're in school, you get your school therapist, psychologist, whatever you have, guidance counselors. If you seriously are, if going to school for some people is, they're coming
Hell.
out of a shitty situation, going to school
into another city,
thinking that it's gonna be okay and that's their comfort zone.
Yep.
But it's not.
Yep.
And if you're in that situation,
Just talk to somebody.
Yeah, and it does get better, man.
It does.
It really does. And it's not gonna happen overnight. It might happen overnight. It might not. But it definitely gets better.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, it takes your lowest lows to reach your peak or your highest highs. It's something that really it does take quite a while to learn and to get used to and to figure out. But high school is something that you have to worry about the least out of any level of anything that you do.
But enjoy it, man.
And of course, enjoy it as much as you can.
Fast.
But it's certainly not something that is going to be the end of the world if you fuck up. Of course, it is like you do have your moments where your brain decides to randomly think of something embarrassing you did in high school, or it randomly decides to poke fun at something that you did. Like everyone has their inner masochist,
right?
But it's not something that should really dictate what you do in your life. So yeah, that's just what I want to say. Fuck other people. Do what you want to do. Improve yourself how you see fit.
I agree.
So you got another point, Nate? Because if not, I can go into my last one and then we can close it out. Or if you want to touch on another one.
I do want to touch on some. I do want to do our little normal shit we do during the week with our news and shit like that. I do quick.
Okay, if you want, I can do the story and then you can pull up some news stories.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't have any other points.
So the very last thing that I wanted to talk about, it's in my note, and if I had thought about it, I would have put it like bold, underlined, highlighted, whatever the hell. It is to just fucking talk. That's impressive.
That's last night.
Yeah. Just fucking talk. That's what I have in my notes. And what I mean by that is this goes along with the other people's opinions don't matter if you just do what you feel is right. I was never popular in school, but the way I got through it and never had bullies is that I would talk to people. If I felt that it was right for me to talk, I would. If I felt like the conversation was something that I could be a part of, I would talk. This is more directed towards the people that feel like they have issues making friends or they don't have a lot of people to talk to, whatever the case is. This is for you. Just talk. Throughout high school, I would have people that I would have never spoken to outside of school, or I would have never thought to talk about them. I would have never had any sort of correlation, like our lives would have never intersected. But because there was something that came up and I just decided to say something, tell a joke, say a quick little quip, anything, I was able to make friends and I was able to get through it. Whether I was at a low point, whether I was at a high point, I would just talk. It's the biggest thing that I go back to is in homeroom throughout because in our school, I don't know if it's the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same for most schools. Your homeroom classmates are the same homeroom and the same teachers throughout all of high school. Um, and while in high school, while in homeroom, I started off only knowing about 3 people. I think it was 3 from middle school, and I was very insecure. I was very very just in my own head a lot. Because I mean everybody is in high school, but I ended up by the end of senior year being not friends but school friends and talking to almost about everybody in my homeroom. At least I've at least had one conversation with about 75% of my homeroom, and we were cool on those terms simply because I just was just being myself around them. No, if you talk to people, you'll notice this after you get out of school too, is that just talking to people, most people will like you. 90% of people will like you to a certain extent, unless you're just a genuine piece of shit. Like most people will like you if you just have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a huge insecurity talking like if you talk to somebody, what if you say something wrong? What if you just do something that doesn't sound right? What if you mess it up? And it's all in your head for the most part.
And especially as someone who talks for a fucking living.
Yeah.
And like I have to, I care too much about what comes out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And
trust me, if you tried to get me to do this podcast this time last year or this time 6 months ago, even really, I probably wouldn't have been as comfortable as I am now.
I'm still like a little bit on the edge about like going off the deep end with the, edgy shit.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like once we get to a certain point and get a big feel for how people like the edgy and how edgy we can be, then it's gonna go off the fucking deep end here.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. But the point, the original point was, you're not going to be alone in the sense that if you just go out there, put yourself out there, because I learned this a lot from working in retail. If you just talk to people, most people won't be shitty to you. High school, like I said, I didn't know anybody. By senior year, I wasn't even a starter on the football team, yet because I would talk to people and I made friends or acquaintances with most of my senior class. Like most people, I was not popular, but a shit ton of people knew me in my senior class. Like people knew who I was to a certain extent by the end of senior year. But I wasn't even a starter on the football team, but because I talked to people in my homeroom, I was able to make friends. I was able to be out there. I literally had a sign for the you know how they do signs on the gym wall for all the football players? There were starters who didn't have a sign, but because I was friends with a few of the people in the Spirits squad or whatever the hell it's called, I had a sign.
Oh shit.
Now, did they misspell my name? Yes. They instead of Gon, they put Gan. So it was Ganka.
Oh
so
my god.
Ganka, baby. I wish I saved that sign or had a picture of the sign. It was so good. But that
it said Ganka, baby.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Ganka, but it said Ganka because well, it's funny. I don't know. You probably don't know who it is, but the girl who was in my homeroom who was in there, she's like, "How do you spell your last name?" I'm like, Gonka. It's like, I knew it. I'm like, what? It's like, we were making a sign for you in Spirit or whatever the hell, Palms, whatever the fuck, whoever
Palms.
was doing
It's
it.
Palms.
Yeah. They were like, we were making a sign for you for the football team, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Gon, and everybody just was like, no, I think it's Gan. I don't know why you wouldn't just trust the person who's in my homeroom, but still, so she had them, or she wanted to make they wanted to make a sign for me for whatever reason, but it's because I put myself out there that I was able to make those friends. And I was not a secure person, but I was still able to put myself out there, and people will be on your side most of the time.
I mean, I'm a very insecure person myself, but it's funny how insecure I am with what I do. It's the only time I'm really not insecure is
Absolutely
being here in the studio or being on stage.
Absolutely.
Like
and some people
work.
need that.
I need that shit.
Are born for the stage. I for the longest time felt at home on stage when I would play. Now, did I play a lot of shows? No, but it does open you up.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel open out in public, like if you don't feel like you can be yourself and you want to have that creative outlet, you might be built for the stage. It might just be something that,
or you might be built for behind the scenes.
oh, sure. There's just certain things that people are able to do better than others. It takes a while to learn that, and it takes a while to get in to feel comfortable in your own skin while doing what you like to do. That goes back to the original point with like dropping out of college and all that shit. How we were talking about like it takes a while to get used to what you really love doing, even though you love it. If you just put yourself out. That I feel like that was the biggest point between our 2 points that we made this episode, is that just put yourself out there, and don't be afraid of people, because people will not, they don't bite that hard.
Mm-hmm.
So those were our points. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight into who we are, how we see things, and hopefully that helped you out to some degree. If it didn't, and you don't really trust listening to two fucking jack-offs who don't really know anything about life, that's fair too. But hopefully that does reach out to somebody. Hopefully somebody who needs to hear that hears that, because I really do feel like that's important. I feel like that's a big part of life, is to not worry. I feel like that was I think that was the overarching kind of theme.
Yeah.
Was don't worry.
Don't worry and just be yourself.
Yeah. Easier said than done, of course.
Yes.
Do not think that we are saying that it is going to be easy. It is going to be probably the hardest thing you've ever done, but it'll be worth it when you get it done. So just don't give up. Don't fall into don't think that you can't get out of the rut that you've fallen into. So
Yeah.
that's that. So now, off of the inspiring notes and everything, we got a little bit of news, and then we're gonna cut it out, and we'll let you go about your day. So, Nate.
So real quick, I know high school football is not really big out in Illinois, but I do want to touch on our alma mater. They won last night 30-0
That's solid.
against Evanston, bringing their record to 1-2. But the bigger highlight of the night is the fact that Schaumburg beat Niles North 56-12.
That's insane. Like the fact that I'd like to score 12. You don't see 12 in high school football.
That's
all that
4
often.
field goals.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You don't see 4 field goals all that often, unless it was 2 touchdowns, missed extra points, which I would expect more. But,
Yeah.
That's just a beating. That's a whooping right
Yeah.
there.
56-12.
Thing is about high school football, at least in Illinois, it's not as big as in places like Texas. So
Which I'm kind of sad about that. Like,
Yeah.
imagine getting to play in a stadium, like a high school stadium, like they play in Texas.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I was just at work the other day, and they had a fucking high school football game on national television on ESPN.
Well,
in Alabama.
they had my senior year. There was our game was on there too. It was Stevenson versus Palatine.
Oh, on the like Comcast network and shit.
I think it was on CSN. Yeah.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
So that, I mean, of course, on ESPN is different than
Yeah.
CSN, because who watches CSN for sports really, unless you
Right.
have to.
Unless you're like a really into Chicago sports.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the thing is that the Hawks are only on CSN at this point. I
Yeah.
think there's only 9 WGN games this year.
I thought they were. Oh no, that's the Cubs show
Cubs.
or ABC.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. That was high school. way to
Oh,
alienate
shit,
most of
yeah.
our audience.
More news.
yeah,
More
news.
news. SNL hired 3 new cast members.
Yeah.
And one of the guys is in some trouble for making some racist remarks about Asians on a podcast. Yet you dumb motherfuckers seem to forget that Lorne Michaels had John Belushi play a samurai.
You look very white right now.
So how is it, selective outrage, we'll call it that. And the whole vaping thing is 480,000 people die a year from cigarettes, 6 people die from vaping, and now it's a big deal.
The thing that I see the problem with that whole jewel pods and vaping and all that, most of them, from my knowledge, were counterfeits or black market pods. They weren't genuine jewel pods.
Correct.
So that's that for you.
I get it, but like,
I can understand the idea behind it because personally, I think that you should just get rid of cigarettes and smoking and all that shit. If you're gonna get rid of one, you have to get rid of all of them.
I was at the doctor. Well, I was at a hospital the other day visiting a.
Oh, by the way, don't think I mean you should get rid of cigarettes altogether because I don't give a shit what you do with your body.
Yeah,
it's like pot. That's why I don't care that that's illegal. I just think that because cigarettes and alcohol, those will kill you later on in life. It's not gonna be crack where you fucking tweak out and kill yourself by doing something stupid. I mean, the basic shit. Just disclaimer: I don't care what you do with your body. If you want to smoke or jewel, fucking do it. I don't care. So, as you were saying, just wanted to clarify.
Oh yeah, so I was at the hospital the other day with someone I know. They're getting better. Thanks for caring.
Yeah.
What was I saying? They asked said person if they vaped, and said person was like, "No, I only smoke cigarettes." And the doctors looked at said person and was like, "Good, we'd rather have you smoke cigarettes than vape." And I was like, "What the fuck kind of doctors are these?"
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I don't get is that it's like you were taught from very young not to get water in your lungs, and if there's water in your lungs, that's bad, and yet you're inhaling fucking water vapor. I just feel like that's a little bit strange. I can't. Smoke, I think, is worse. Honestly, like I don't see why inhaling smoke is a good idea to people, but you're getting water in your lungs. You're deliberately putting water in your lungs. I feel like that's a bit. Yeah. See, point exactly.
Burnt.
But I don't know. I think that vaping and all
gross.
that shit, that none of that's for me. I don't partake, but if you do it, go ahead. I hate all that legislation bullshit. Oh, nice, good job.
That was so burnt.
I don't know. It's stupid shit. So had a very very roller coaster of an episode this week.
Yes. Oh, you want to recap your week before we get out of here?
I worked.
You worked?
Worked a lot.
Anything interesting?
I mean, my parents and I went to my dad's buddy's place. I told you this before the episode. Yeah. So picture this. There's my father, who is as big as I am. We're both big boys. He's a little bit shorter than I am, but we're both big boys. Then there's my dad's friend, and then a bunch of his friends. I think it was a grand total of 6 or 7 of us. Okay. And we had a tournament style where we had a bunch of teams. Everybody played with each other, and everybody played against everybody else. Mm-hmm. It was literally just a basketball court that my dad's buddy made on his driveway, painted the lines and everything. Like, it was proper.
Like a full half court or
half court, yeah.
I was gonna say that must be a wide driveway.
No. If it was a full court, we would not have even done that. We wouldn't have bothered because we were tired playing half court. But so it just picture a bunch of 40-year-old men and one of them being the size of me, and then me just playing basketball for probably a good 2 hours. It was dope. It was fun. It was a lot. It was a good time.
I got to hang out with Chris Hardwick.
That's fun. You want to touch on that, or do you just want to leave it at that?
I'll just leave it at that.
All right, cool. Well, this has been the Floor Chapstick Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this makes it to YouTube this time. And, well, if it doesn't, shit. All right, bye.
Bye. Thanks, guys.